look out. Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basiciro, and Hall of Fame sports writer Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
Welcome into Under the Bus. Justin Jarrett joining us in place of Rich, who is, we think, still in Italy.
Perpetually vacationing.
Yeah, the perpetually vacationing Rich Basiciro. So we throw him under the bus right off the bat. We got to begin with LeBron going under the bus. He going to make a big announcement, all teased and set up and whatever.
Decision.
The decision. Yeah.
Decision two.
Yeah. Well, decision 2 was an after dinner drink that he was endorsing that we will not name here because I don't think they deserve to be endorsed the way LeBron did it. And we'll make the decision to eat at Hudson's on the docks instead, right?
There you go. Yeah,
maybe we should make a decision not to ever talk about LeBron on this podcast. That would be good.
I think we're going to have to proxy in Rich if we're going to make any kind of decisions about that, because Rich would run out of content during basketball season.
Right.
You couldn't throw LeBron under the bus.
I
bet Rich is steaming over in Italy about this.
So let's go to a good note. I'm just going to, over my shoulder. There's a lot of bad going on in the world right now.
All right, live baseball, live.
Split screen. I can see them both games. The Yankees, Toronto, and then Seattle and Detroit. Ah, man, that's when life is good.
All right.
There are some things about living in the future that are just really, really cool.
But not much. This is where I get my thrills and excitement these days, for sure. What about the baseball playoffs? Seattle and Detroit are playing. Toronto, Yankees still believe there's a chance. Well, of course, a lot of people see this. We'll know whether or not they had a chance. I'm not so sure they did or do in the long
23 runs by Toronto, 23 runs in 2 games. Back in Yankee Stadium tonight, though. But, Rondon is gone. Rondon is the guy they're picking to save the season.
Yeah.
But Vlad Guerrero owns Rondon.
Yeah.
And Guerrero has been hitting anybody, and, I don't know. Yeah.
It'll be interesting. What do you think the Yankee, how far under the bus would Yankee fans have thrown the Yankees had they done this at Yankee Stadium? Gotten pounded 23 to 8. How bad would it be?
It could get ugly tonight if this continues.
Max Fried looked like he was fried when they showed pictures of his face. He looked like he didn't know what had happened.
Well, and he looked like he literally didn't understand what was happening. Like they knew what was coming type deal. And I'm not saying that they did. I haven't heard.
There's been more talk of that, though.
Is there?
Guys there is so much video and so much stuff available now that guys are getting caught tipping pitches. And boy, it sure looked like they knew what Fried was throwing them.
That's what I'm saying is he looked confused. Like, what is happening? Like, that was crazy. But I guess last week I said maybe we would throw the bye under the bus for messing people up, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, Toronto came out guns blazing. Seattle has looked solid, although they're in a close one right now with Detroit. So
how about Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm a Cubs fan. It's been traumatic.
I mean, the rested teams, other than the Phillies, have done pretty well. And the Phillies,
I'll throw Craig Counsell under the bus, the Cubs manager.
Well, the two Cubs
I
starters.
It was a panic move to go to Shaw or to Boyd in
the first game.
On short rest.
Lasted 2/3 of an inning.
Yeah,
and then Imanaga's 2 2/3 inning. I mean, the starters were disastrous.
Well, and it didn't help that Cole Horton, our great young rookie pitcher, broke his ribs sneezing or coughing or something the last week of the regular season. So that already put the rotation in a bind. And honestly, I was grateful to get out of that San Diego series, but it's not looking good for the Cubbies nor the Yankees.
For us non-Cubs fans, us Cardinal fans, it was interesting to see, the great young rookie, the Miz, finally gets some national attention, throw 3 innings, and what a what a what a circus he is to watch. It's it's great. But to go back to Toronto, I didn't realize this is kind of Toronto's debut on the national stage. Fox has not had them on all season.
All
The
season.
announcers didn't even know where the press box was. It's something in Toronto Stadium. It was amazing. And
for a long time, the broadcasters didn't travel up there after COVID, right? So they would broadcast remotely when they
for a little while. But Fox, Joe Davis of Fox, he's the voice of the Dodgers during the season. So the Dodgers did not play Toronto.
He didn't have occasion
in
to
Canada.
visit Skydome.
He said he hadn't been back into Toronto since 2022. Smoltz, used to pitch up there, so he at least knew where to go. But it's
funny. The voice of Toronto baseball is Dan, is the guy that does college basketball all winter. ESPN Dan Shulman, and you never hear his voice until us American fans never hear his voice until basketball season.
Right. Yeah.
And he's telling Joe Davis and all the broadcasters about the Blue Jays and who they are and their histories and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting.
Hey, it's crazy that people. It's crazy that they didn't get more run this year because they have so many big name star players.
Got a lot of players,
and I felt like they were kind of a darling for a couple of years, and then this year everybody kind of slept on them, and here they are.
I don't think, and this takes me back, and I'm not sure the ratings rules are the same, but Toronto's games don't get rated in the U.S. The Canadian, so the ratings, there's no ratings reason to ever have the Blue Jays on, even if they're popular here. Now
they're like the Canadian viewers
they're Canada's team, and in fact, if it were to be a Toronto-Seattle World Series, it would be really interesting where the fans broke, because Seattle is kind of Western Canada's team, but still not as big as the Blue Jays.
Yeah. And especially with Canada not having won a cup in forever. It's pretty wild that they won a World Series first.
And today, the Canadian Prime Minister was in the Oval Office with Trump, and he had his media briefing, which of course takes an hour and a half. But Trump was going on and on about hockey. And suddenly the Canadian Prime Minister interrupted and said, we might be in the World Series, Mr. President. Forget hockey. We're going to be so he's right on.
You have something to bring up from just kind of the big picture of the playoffs. You guys, we've touched on it a little bit, how a lot of teams' main starters, the guys they've counted on all year, have not been very good or have been hurt or non-existent. And yet Cam Schlittler and Trey
Savage.
The young Savage
have been like fabulous. Even early, the Red Sox pitcher was good for a little while. Where these guys are coming out of nowhere, no fear, just come on in and dominate. I don't get it. You used to have to be on the team on September 1st to get to play in the playoffs.
Right. Now, you couldn't make your major league debut in the playoffs.
These new guys show up. If the Yankees win tonight, of course we get more Schlitter tomorrow night. If anybody gives a Schlitt, as everybody says, they start using his name again. But you're right. The playoffs provide a stage for these unknowns to show up every year. It seems, and especially young pitchers. I want to bring up the Dodgers and the Phillies, which is, of course, the All-Star game, All-Star series. And it's just that the Dodgers hitters, the Dodgers stars keep starring and the Phillies stars keep failing.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the batting champion Turner. They have the home run and RBI guy Schwarber. And then they have Harper, who we know. These three guys in the first game went 1 for 11, 6 strikeouts. The second game, they had all kinds of opportunities. Yeah. And finally, I think Turner got an RBI. Turner got an RBI single in the 8th, But then with men on base now, Schwarber, they're down 4-1 on trying to rally. Schwarber strikes out and Harper pops out.
Yep.
And then in the ninth, Turner's up with the tying and winning runs on, and he bounces out to lose the game. They're 1 for 20. I think they're 2 for 21 with 11 strikeouts. Those three guys. So, you can put the blame on Philly Stars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not the recipe to beat the Dodgers for sure. Back to your point on pitchers, Bob. I wonder, as I sit here and think about it, if it has to do with what you were talking about earlier. You've got so much video and so much scouting report on guys that you've seen throughout the year. And I'm sure when you get to the playoffs, the pace slows down a little bit. Your scouting department's probably working overtime, analyzing everything from the most recent starts. And then a guy comes in that you don't have any book on, and you don't know what he's got even. And so by the time you figure out what he's got, he's already mowed down 8 people, and he's into the 6th inning. And so I think that's part of it, is just the unknown, as you said, of some of these pitchers. You come up there pumping 100 with 3-pitch mix, and you haven't seen it before. That's pretty hard to hit.
All right, so where we stand on a Tuesday night with still lots of baseball to play in this. Who wins this whole thing? Who do you see in the World Series at least?
I see the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, and the Dodgers had their secret weapon, which they should know how to pitch to him. Teoscar Hernandez, 3-time Silver Slugger. They can't get him. Nobody can get him out. Yeah. And I've got an investigative report on his name. His name is Teoscar, which I find really strange. The T-E in front of the Oscar, the T-O in front of the Oscar, the first T-O for the Oscar is his dad's name, and the C in Oscar is his mom's name, Carmen. So it's a combination of T-O and C, and he put the S in the middle, and don't ask. So that's my investigative reporting.
Yeah, you can take the Sports Illustrated out of Curry, but you can't take Curry out of the Sports Illustrated. That's
still a bold reporter, getting to the bottom of it.
Yeah,
there it goes.
I think the Dodgers are also the smart pick. They just look like the most complete team right now. I love that they have Kershaw in their back pocket, and he's willing to do whatever. I think that could become a factor at some point. We've seen him out of the bullpen in postseasons past. That would be a cool storyline. I guess that's the journalist in me too, rooting for the story, right? Seattle would be the best story because they've never even been to the World Series. So I'd love to see them make it. But I hope the fighting up in Portland doesn't spill over.
Don't go there. Because we've all think the Dodgers, Milwaukee will continue to overperform and blow it all out of the water and sweep.
That's very possible. And there's something special about that team because the whole is so much greater than the sum of the parts. So there's something going on there chemistry wise that's pretty special. I wouldn't be surprised.
They are terrific. All right. We still got a whole lot of football to talk about. Oh, do we have people to throw under the bus in college football? We got a few in the NFL, too. We'll come back and do that when we continue Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. We welcome you back to Under the Bus, and just as Curry Kirkpatrick predicted just moments ago, Vladimir
Guerrero Jr.
has just homered off of Carlos Rondon, and it's 1-0.
There you go,
beefy boy.
2-0
there you go.
already.
Beefy fellow.
2-0.
That was a mammoth.
You throw those numbers out, but no, you don't.
Yeah.
Whew. That ball was crushed.
Yeah.
All right, where were we?
Amazing
college football.
College football. Let's do that first.
And the guy, what's that?
Go ahead. I was going to say
the guy who personally the guy who personally is the reason for a podcast like this, Under the Bus, is the Penn State coach.
Yeah.
Ben, I call him Ben Franklin because he's the founding father of Choke. He not only can't win the big ones now, he can't win the little ones. Gets beat by UCLA. It's the first top 10 team to be beaten by an 0-4 record team in 40 years.
Yeah.
Now
The
you
team that
explain
just
to me.
fired their whole coaching staff like 2 weeks ago.
They don't have any coordinators, and they don't have any. They hadn't led in any of their 4 games, UCLA, and they're just in. They're in destroy mode, and Penn State comes in there and throws another. Lays another one.
Yeah.
I don't know. The worst. They were favored by 25 points.
Yeah.
And Franklin comes out afterward, and sure enough, he blames injuries. He even went to travel. He went to the travel. These Big Ten teams going to the West Coast as if they haven't been doing that all year.
Checks. Yeah.
God forbid you should ever make it to the Rose Bowl, pal.
Yeah. It's such a bad look. And a guy they're down, and it goes again to the quarterback. They rallied to get to within 42-35 or something, and they've got the ball. And the quarterback, LR, who's supposed to be Alar, how you pronounce it, supposed to be a Heisman guy. Well, that went out the window several weeks ago. But he has 4th and 2, 37 seconds left, and he gets tackled for a loss by a guy named Scooter. So it's that's where it is on Penn State. The interim head coach of UCLA said we were going to be super aggressive, but not do dumb things. So I would suggest Franklin take up that mantra, not do dumb things like losing. I mean, what was so special about this though was the coordinator went to Jerry Neuheisel, who was a former UCLA quarterback and apparently the most popular guy on campus. He looks like he's 18 years old still.
He's 14. Has he shaved or got a haircut? Neither one.
And of course, the great thing, his father Rick, who used to be the coach of UCLA, he's on CBS. They connected him into the game, of course, and he starts doing the game with the other broadcasters. And what an emotional thing. He, of course, turned from an objective observer to a full fan of UCLA, and he had to apologize after the game to the Penn State fans, hoping they understood what it was like to be a parent.
But I'm not throwing him under the bus though, because
it was so special. It was so special, and the announcers kept after the game. They kept asking Rick Neuheisel, "How was it? What was it like?" And he said, "You're gonna make me cry," which they did. So, but it was a wonder. It was a great moment, really, to watch that thing.
Sure,
and not just because of Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they're curious to see if Neuheisel has any contact with Franklin doing a Big Ten game between now and the end of the year.
I think Franklin, when they run him out of Happy Valley, he might find a landing spot at Chapel Hill because I think they might have a vacancy.
God, yeah. Well, let's go there. Let's go there. This keeps getting more and more disastrous every week. Carolina are doing these pregame concerts now every week in front of the library. So this week they had Ludacris. Big name guy. Had to do the concert at 10 a.m. He said it was the earliest he'd ever done. He said, "This energy is great here. You're going to win the game." Ludacris. Yeah, well, that was a ludicrous comment. I think there's no talent. We see what Belichick's personnel skills are, which came up. When he was the Patriots personnel guy after Brady left, they were terrible in the draft. He had no guys that he got on the Patriots had any offensive impact. And of course, now at Chapel Hill, all these stories are coming out how he and Lombardi, the general manager, are terrible people, and they're nasty to the parents. They're nasty to the administration. Nobody likes them. It's all coming out. It's just terribly embarrassing.
Curry, you're in. The people at North Carolina. Would they hire James Franklin?
Oh, in a second. In a second. Well,
That's
why
what I was
not? I
waiting to
mean,
hear.
I mean, if he wanted
they'd hire
Vandy,
Ben
I
Frank.
mean, which Vandy now is cooking, I guess. But man, this Belichick thing is going like even more disastrously than I could have
Well, it's a
hoped.
pro. Justin, it's a pro operation, as Belichick
Yeah,
has kept telling us,
the
and he's
33rd
running.
NFL team, right?
Yeah, and he's running it like a pro team, and he has no apparently. There's no connection between him and the players. I mean, seriously,
Right.
all these stories are coming out, and of course, because they're losing, the parents are coming out. I mean, they've played 3 Power 4 teams. I think it's 120 to 50 or something like that. I mean, it's just awful. I think
Boston
that
College and Oklahoma State, I think, are the only 2 Power 4 teams ranked lower than Carolina right now.
Yikes.
and
Yeah, one of
Lombardi
them already
Lombardi
fired their
apparently Lombardi, the quote GM, apparently last week sent out a letter to all the concerned alumni who, in the letter he said, have patience. We're going to get 40 high school kids in here next spring. Well, what? By next spring, you're going to be so far in under the bus. I mean, I don't think, but luckily there was no, I don't think there was any sighting of Belichick's girlfriend in
Oh, really?
the whole weekend. I didn't know. She may have already bailed with Ludacris after the
Yeah, that's what I
contest.
was gonna say. She might have gotten on Ludacris's tour bus and gotten out of town. It's not
This guy's
looking
more
good over there in
successful
South
than the one
Florida.
I'm with. Holy moly! And kudos to Debo Samuel, and he hasn't gotten very many of them this year. He runs a trick play on the first play of the game and turns it into
Oh,
a 70-yard
Dabo Sweeney.
touchdown,
You
and
mean
really
Dabo
turns out the
Sweeney.
lights on it right there, huh?
You said Debo Samuel, but you meant
I
Dabo
meant
Sweeney.
Debo. Yeah,
It's the same guy.
That was
It's the same guy. Has anybody ever seen him before?
that's right.
The game was over after one play,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I thought what you were going to say about Debo Samuel, or rather Dabo Sweeney, was that
Dabos.
he
Yeah.
called off the dogs in the second half. I mean, that could have and should have been 80, not
It could have
38.
been.
I mean, he really did. He really did. I think he put his 4 stringers in the fourth quarter. There was nobody. It's really humiliating. They're in a bad. It's a laughing stock now. And
Clemson was in a bad way, and you made them look like
Yep.
world beaters. I mean,
Yep.
it
yeah,
was ugly.
yeah. Well,
How
it's
about Texas, though? Texas is in trouble,
Well,
too.
yeah. Let's talk about Texas and also and who was the other big loser? Oh, yeah. Well, Texas was the other big loser of the week. They're out of the top 25 now, and
Yeah.
after being number one, being number one preseason. Well,
Which they didn't belong in.
obviously, Arch Manning is not his uncle's yet. I mean, I'm
No.
going to still give him some grace and
Absolutely.
give him some time. But this guy Sarkisian, who's supposed to be one of the best in the country and being paid that way, he cannot show up to work in that all white outfit after Labor Day. He's got the white pants and the white jacket out there, and he's getting his ass kicked. I mean, unless you're going to win the game, you cannot show up in all white like that in Florida
Not after
after
Labor
Labor
Day.
Day. No,
Even we know that.
Yeah,
We know a lot. But even we know.
and even worse, after the game, or maybe it's the next day, they asked him, the reporters asking him, questioning his preseason ranking, what has happened. And Sarkisian went to major school. He said there are 136 other schools in the country. How would they do playing at Ohio State and in the swamp? What? Come on. I mean, it's so lame. You're Texas.
Yeah.
And by the way, South Florida did play in the swamp and beat Florida early in the season.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, how lame is that by Sarkisian?
The lamest. I saw that quote today, and I was just like, "Oh,
Do they play?
goodness,
Does
that
Texas
is-
play A&M in College Station or in Austin? Because then, because he can bring that excuse out again when
That's
A&M.
true. That's true. Yeah, about teams that have going in.
Yeah, and now he has to take his team into the Cotton Bowl and play Oklahoma.
Mhm. Well, luckily, he doesn't have to.
How is he
quarterback
going to spin that if they don't beat Oklahoma? Who, by the way, Mateer is
With the
supposed to
backup
play.
quarterback.
Mateer's
Oh,
supposed
is
to
he?
want to.
Yeah.
Mateer's supposed to want to play. He's trying to urge himself back in the game. I don't know if he'll play, but to before we leave the SEC, I got another under the bus candidate, and that's one of the hottest seats of all is Mark Stoops, the Kentucky coach. I mean, he took his annual ass kicking by Georgia and came out, had to dispel rumors after the game that he was talking to Kentucky about an exit strategy. The poor guy just got his ass kicked, and the reporters are asking him, "Are you considering a buyout?" And of course, he said that was all crap. I think was the word he used. And got mad, and but he definitely is on the way out, don't you think?
Well, I mean, if he got mad and said it was crap, then it's definitely true.
His buyout's $40 million, though.
Well,
yeah. Well, they're throwing around a lot of money these days.
They get some of that basketball money. Get some of that basketball money, and they could pay him and get him out of there.
I think it's $50 million for Franklin for Ben Franklin. I think it's a big number.
That would be a Franklin landing spot, right? Kentucky back in the SEC.
Absolutely, lower expectations. Where 8-4, 9-3 get you a statue,
and you don't have to travel to UCLA. You have to take those long flights.
And play an announcer's son on national TV.
Oh, the Signs of Life from the Yankees.
Did he get any runs? Speaking of Vanderbilt, I think.
Scored a run.
Speaking of Vanderbilt, I was looking for the upset this week, but my boy Diego Pavia had an early fumble to give the ball away to Alabama and the game kind of turned right with that. All the energy kind of went out of the deal for Vanderbilt. And Pavia, I think Pavia now canceled his Heisman Trophy.
I was going to say he could have won the Heisman because there's nobody else.
I know. Well, I think that canceled his candidacy.
They're going to give it out this year, though, so somebody's going to get it. I don't know who at this stage.
Well, right now, the
guy from Oregon is my candidate. Yeah, he's my candidate. Of course, he's playing Saturday. He's playing the Oregon guy, Devontae Moore, is playing Saturday against Indiana, and that guy who's playing quarterback for them is supposedly a guy that will be a first round draft choice.
Yeah,
NFL guy. So
crazy stuff.
Don't sleep on Ahmad Hardy out of Mizzou. He's piling up rushing yards.
Doesn't Alabama go to Mizzou this week?
They do.
Justin, that's a big one. That's a big one. You can look for Mizzou.
Get a Heisman winner. If Kellen Winslow didn't win it, Mizzou's never going to get a Heisman.
You're right.
All right. Let's stop that right now. Let's talk NFL. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back and we got all kinds of folks to throw under the bus in the NFL as well. As we come back, this Under the Bus episode brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Bob Stevens, along with Curry Kirkpatrick, Justin Jarrett, sitting in for the coach, Rich Basiciro, who is still vacationing in Italy and probably is at a soccer game tonight. He's probably rooting somebody on and buying some merch, we hope.
In the that or learning baseball terms in Italian in a Yankee bar somewhere.
I wouldn't doubt that he's back. I think he's been back in New York for a few days. He might be at the game tonight, the Yankee game. I wouldn't doubt that.
What's the worst New York team right now? The Yankees, the Mets, the Jets, or the Giants?
Boy.
Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. I don't know. The Jets look awfully bad.
Yeah.
I thought there was some hope for a couple of weeks there, but it's fading fast. They don't.
Only team in the NFL without a win, and this is like the earliest in a long time that we're already the Dolphins.
Miami
are still can drink the champagne early. They get it out.
Pop the bottles early this year. Both of those were shocking.
And not to mention the worst thing about the Jets season might be Mark Sanchez.
Oh my goodness.
who failed to understand the adage to never get in a fight with a 69-year-old truck driver who's packing knife. I mean, come on, Mark. Gee whiz.
So Sanchez
What
then
a
comes behind.
bizarre
He made
story.
LeBron look legit.
But on the plus side, Mark Sanchez will not be known for the butt fumble for the rest of his life. He'll be known for this
He
parking
might
lot
have gotten out
scuffle.
from under that.
Well,
Oh, what a
some people when they first heard about this fight, thought that it was some former Jet fan that still remembers the butt fumble.
It
But
was
what
a
do you think?
weird story.
This truck driver, not only did he have the pepper spray, but he had the blade ready for Mark. So, wasn't a good idea to argue over a parking space. Come on.
Don't mess with
And
truck
Yeah.
drivers.
And he
That's
like tried
exactly
to come into his truck, right? Like
yeah,
that's that man's
yeah.
kingdom. You don't come in that man's truck. That was a big,
That's
big
that's a
mistake, Mark
And that's a
Sanchez.
former Jet player. So we move from them. I'll go to the Eagles. I'll go to the champions. And
Yeah.
here's what I don't understand. Maybe you guys can explain this. When the offensive is so screwed up like this, is it Nick Sirianno's fault, or is it this Kevin Patullo, he promoted from within to be the offensive coordinator? Whose fault is this that they give the ball to Saquon 6 times
Yeah.
when they're up 14-0? 14-0. They gave it to him 5 times in the first half, once in the second half. Are they hearing? Does Patullo hear the receivers bitching that they're not getting the ball enough? So then he over promotes and goes to the other side. I don't get it.
Yes, he did. Yes, he is. Justin's going to the book.
But can you guys explain to me why, if a head coach has an offensive coordinator that's so, it seems like off base, doesn't he get involved more and say either get him out of there or take over the calls himself or whatever?
Yeah,
Whose
I mean, I
fault
think
is
it's a delicate balance, definitely. You don't want to, well, and there's probably some pride too, right? You picked this guy. You thought he was ready. He's not ready. You've got to own that at some point, and you've got to figure it out. But no, it makes no sense. I mean, you just got handed the keys to the Ferrari, and you're leaving it parked in the garage. Like that's insane. That they're not using Saquon more, and they've been flirting with disaster a couple weeks before this. They should have
Yeah.
lost that game to the Rams. They have not looked themselves.
You can find though one of that person like Patullo on 6 different teams in the NFL who blew double-digit leads this week.
Oh my God!
I mean,
The worst was the Cardinals.
But
My God, the way they lost that game to the Titans. I don't know if you saw it, but DeMarcado pulled a Adonai Mitchell, Leon and let it go before he got across the goal line. And then the craziest play,
that would have put him up 27-6. That score would have put him up 27-6, and the game's over.
Yeah. And they let him hang around, and then they get a pick. The man falls to the ground and fumbles untouched. And
that
it gets
was
kicked into the end zone, and Tennessee recovers it for a touchdown, and then ends up getting the ball back, going down, kicking a field goal, winning the game. I was literally in the first half going, God, I don't see how the Titans are going to win a game this year. I mean, Arizona's not even playing well, and they're still blowing them out of the water. And then, well, we saw how they're going to win a game this year.
Well, I love to look up these guys that dropped the ball on the goal line. I love to look them up. DeMarcado played 5 years at TCU, and he was in the championship game in 2022. He ran for like over 50 yards in the championship game. So, and he's also Jamaican. So, and then of course, the coach, Arizona coach, made all these headlines, Jonathan Gannon, by bumping DeMarcado, going in a tirade on the sideline, and he actually bumped him. I mean, he pushed him. So you can't. All these players came out today, all over ESPN, saying, you can't put your hands on the guy. You can't. If you're a coach, you can't put your hands on a player. It's lucky that DeMarcado settled down and didn't go back after him. But the guy drops the ball on the goal line. I mean, here's Jason pulls up this. Is this DeMarcado thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's getting in his face.
Well, all I can
Oh,
say about
man.
DeMarcado, the Jamaican, there was a great Harry Belafonte song called "Jamaican Farewell," and I, I think Gannon might be singing that. The lyrics, sad to
I
say,
think he was
you're
singing
on your
Jamaican Me
way.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, you're Jamaica making me crazy. Sad to say, you're on your way. Won't be back for many a day. That might be DeMarcado. Harry Belafonte saying so long to DeMarcado.
That's crazy stuff. He has since the coach has since apologized and has since talked like the guy might still play quite a bit
Yeah,
this
yeah,
week.
well, yeah.
Well, they
And all
they like
the
him,
players,
and they need him because James Conner's hurt.
Right.
So they
And
really
now the
all his
need this kid right
teammates,
now.
out too. Yeah.
all his teammates supported him, and
Yeah.
you know, to
Hey,
go
let
the
me hit
other
you
way,
with
just a quick one. To
Yeah.
go the other way,
Yeah.
the great Drake May upsets the Patriots
Yeah.
on Sunday night. My boy Drake May, UNC favorite, UNC heartthrob hero. But back to UNC,
Player coach. Yeah.
Bill Belichick apparently had ordered the North Carolina social media operation not to mention anything to do with the Patriots. So they didn't even mention Drake May on their first announcer. They finally mentioned him later. But how petty! I
He's
mean,
so petty.
Belichick just keeps coming up. This is awful. This is
Just the
awful.
smallest man. He's
Yeah.
just the smallest man. He has
And
really shown
I
his.
love Mac Brown. I love Mac Brown posting a photo of him and Drake May
Yeah.
when he was coaching at
Here's
Carolina.
my
God,
boy.
do I miss Mac Brown?
Wow.
He might have been over. It might have been over for him as a coach, but if he didn't leave in such sour terms, he was going to be the face of UNC football. They were going to push him up into the administration, and he was going to be the guy, the promoter, because that's what he does.
Mac Brown
And
pretty much did everything the right way.
yeah, boy, does Carolina
Well, he
miss
was
him.
a college football coach, and
Yeah.
they're it's still important, maybe more now than ever, that these young guys need guidance and they need structure and they need mentorship, and like their mamas and daddies are looking for that. So for him to like refuse to build a relationship with them and then freeze out the parents and think that that is going to work in today's society of helicopter parents is just befuddling to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that he was going to try it when he said he was. I couldn't believe it was going to work, but I could not have imagined it could have failed as spectacularly as it is. I'm sorry, Curry.
No, I mean it's just
So from
it's embarrassing, and I don't
It
see us
actually
winning
makes me
again.
like Tom Brady more, which is the gross side effect of it.
that's hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a gross side effect of it.
I think
but
in the question, you think there's any argument now in the answer of was it Belichick or was it Brady?
None. No. That went out the window when he went to Tampa Bay and won,
Yeah.
but now
Yeah.
it's the emperor has no clothes. I mean,
Yeah.
the man we
Yeah.
saw in Cleveland was the man.
Speaking of Tampa Bay, that's kind of where I wanted to go to kind of tie this whole thing up with the NFL and college football. How about the current maybe leader in the clubhouse for the MVP of the NFL? How about that
Thanks.
quarterback of those Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
He's something
And how
else.
about what the Browns when they gave him away, gave up?
And speaking of a guy that was hated his first couple of years in the league because he was all commercials and no field play, and
Yeah.
boy, has he turned his career around. Going to, I guess it's true if you get a spot where you go and the coaches embrace you and give you your freedom, and Sam Darnold is doing the same thing at Seattle. Sam Darnold is one of the best quarterbacks in the league now. I mean,
the common thread there.
So is Indiana Jones. Yeah. I mean, he's in the running for MVP too, don't you think, Bob?
Sure.
I think so. There's two guys. There's
Yes.
two guys that have fixed all these guys, and it's McVay and it's Shanahan. Those guys have a knack for putting those guys in a system and getting them to understand it on a level that they haven't in the past and see the game. And they are like quarterback whisperers.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at San Francisco. Purdy, came out of nowhere and was anointed, and they gave him all this money. But Mac Jones has stepped in and is doing the exact same thing with less receivers because they're all hurt. So no, I mean, you got to give some props to both Shanahan and McVay for what.
Hey, how about props to the NFL quarterback factory? I never thought during my years in Oklahoma that I would ever say that Oklahoma was the quarterback factory. They had 6 of their quarterbacks start in the NFL this last weekend. They had
not one of them running wishbone.
Quarterbacks.
Not one running wishbone.
In fact, the last 6: Baker, Jalen Hurts, of course, Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray, Spencer Rattler, and the kid in Cleveland.
Bryce Young, Kyler Murray, you said him.
And Rattler, of course, transferred from Oklahoma to South Carolina, became a Gamecock. Right. But Rattler got his first win.
Didn't
they? Gabriel. Maybe they had to.
I forgot.
How about Rattler getting his first win last week against the Giants? And it turns out their freshman heroes might be I don't know. They made 5 straight turnovers on 5 different positions. Scattaboo and your boy Jackson Dart, who made 3 turnovers on his own. One when he didn't even get hit. He drops the ball. You see that one?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We might have the wrong guy. We might have the wrong guy in New York too.
I think John Cena forced that fumble. Can't see him.
Hey Justin, can you put together a Jackson Dart highlight reel for Rich when he comes back so we can see?
So we can catch him up.
Time lapse. Before they go back to Tommy Cutlets. Before they go back to Tommy Cutlets, we ought to get it in the bag for Rich.
Well, they still got Russell Wilson. He's still kicking around over there. They can go back to him. Speaking of
terrific coaches that didn't come up great on the weekend, how about Kansas City? I mean, they don't look like the Kansas. I forget all this injuries. Everybody has injuries. If they're depending on Rice coming back and making him look like the Super Bowl team every year, they look like just another team now. I mean, they look like they could get beat, by anybody just as much as. I mean, where's the standard? Where's the standard? Did you watch the tape of the final few plays? And Chris Jones, their great defensive tackle, just gave up on that last play. Where
a busted play. Lawrence
stumbles twice. Yeah. And Jones is just standing there, not making. He's got a path to stop him from getting the goal line, and he's just stood there. I mean, something's going on.
It was very frustrating for me. I stayed up late to watch my teams, and then the Chiefs and the Cubs both lost. So it was a rough night last night. I did not sleep well after that.
Why don't you turn to St. Louis for your heroes now? Why is it all Chicago?
No, I did. No, it's not all Chicago. It's just the Cubs. Chiefs. I'm a Chiefs fan. And I covered a Rams playoff game back in the
Kansas City or St. Louis. I don't like this, but anyway.
Well, I grew up south of Kansas City in Kansas,
all right.
So
all right.
More proximity.
But the standard. We're talking about the standard of Kansas City. I mean, Kelsey's dropping the ball all the time. The kicker Butker kicks the ball.
But how about that song about Kelsey's prominence?
Oh,
have you heard the new record?
The new album?
Yeah. There's a song called Wood. I think you might like the innuendo.
Boy. Oh boy. Not going there. Not going there.
I not
tell the story, that rhymes with
I can't believe Curry hasn't heard it. He's the known Swiftie.
Yeah.
No, well, I was going to say, not understandably, I watched Taylor Swift on Jimmy, what's his name? I get him all mixed up. The Tonight Show last night, and it was kind of, I'm kind of over. I mean, they went over songs on the album, and what's his name isn't Kimmel. What's his name? Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
I mean, it got annoying. It got annoying. Yeah. The thing that was amazing though, this album had come out the next day or yesterday or something. And the whole audience, which was made up of, obviously they stacked the audience as Swifties, the whole audience knew the lyrics to every song she played already. And even Taylor was stunned. She said, "I don't know how this happened."
Curry, we were that way with the Beatles.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
even
So have
going
you
back
moved
further,
on? You moving on
Elvis
to like
has,
Olivia Rodrigo, or you got a new
no,
pop star?
no. I'm not going to her.
He's going back to the Beatles.
I'm going back to Sydney Sweeney, who's playing Christy Martin, the boxer, in a new movie coming out.
Oh.
Oh, I saw the Smashing Machine, by the way,
Yes.
with
Oh yeah.
The Rock. Have you seen it? Did you see it?
No,
Well, it's
I've
getting all
seen
this. It's
way
getting all
enough
this
promos.
Oscar. It's getting all this Oscar talk, but 4/5 of the movie are tapes of fighting in the cage. I mean, which I don't like. So, I'm going to give it just a whatever.
One
No thumbs up.
I,
one
I like The
It's
Rock and
The
some.
Life of Stan Smith.
I preferred The Rock and Jujambi or whatever.
Jumanji.
The Jumanji movies, yeah.
All right. Anybody else to throw under the bus? We're deteriorating. If we're starting to talk about The Rock as an actor, we're deteriorating.
Fair enough.
Swiftly.
No, I think we're good.
All right. Let's put a bow on this one. We're going to have, if this week was any indication, imagine how many people we're going to have to throw under the bus next week. For Justin Jarrett and Curry Kirkpatrick, and our thanks to everybody who was involved in the show, and of course to Hudson's on the docks for sponsoring us. I'm Bob Stevens. We'll see you next week. We're going to throw a lot of people under the bus.